Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. John Michael Salvato, and you're watching the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind Mind Shift Mastery Program. This is a 200-day journey that we take together every single day at 1:30 Eastern Time, and we come together to talk about the ways in which you and I can begin to make a difference in our lives and the lives of other people by simply taking a daily step, a daily shift in our mindset, a daily shift in our approach to life and our approach to business. And over the last 10 days, our focus has been on the sales process and how those mind shifts can take place to make us more effective in in the marketplace, so that we're not only able to produce more sales, to get better results in our own businesses, but actually to produce better results for the people that we serve. This is a course entirely focused on servant leadership, and so today's focus is on what I like to call gold medals and pitbulls. And before we dive into what that means, the sort of the inspiration for this, I want to recognize two people. The first is Andrew Carnegie, who said, I personally love strawberries and cream, but for some odd reason, fish prefer worms. And the second person, of course, is Tom Freeze, who did an incredible course that I had the privilege of participating in when I lived in Atlanta, called Question-Based Selling. And so this material is based on the question-based selling program. And so I mean this the last 10 days, I would say, and probably through the end of the week, will be focused on that. Maybe a couple more days. We're kind of, this is an experimental portion of the curriculum that we've been getting some really good feedback on, and so let's just dive in and let's talk about what it is that this means. And so I just want to clarify for folks. I know we're getting a bunch of messages on the switchboard saying that people have questions about getting in. Can they point the camera at the window? You can point the camera anywhere that you want. You can turn your camera off. You can strictly be on microphone only. Those are your choices. But please do not send me messages when the program starts, because I can't get to all of your questions, and it's just simply not that kind of format. I don't have a producer sitting in a studio looking at your questions. So if I ignore your questions during the show, just understand that you should have asked those questions before we got started. That's why we send the link out 15 minutes early. So I apologize again. If you're asking questions, I will get to them when we're done. If there are questions about logging in, you should have tried to log in a little bit early so that we could help you. So let's dive into today's material. Gold medals and pitbulls. What do those two things have to do with one another? Well, here's the thing. So often in the process of cultivating relationships, particularly in the sales process, we have one focus or the other, and those focuses can be anything from focusing on having a solution to a person's problem, or motivating that person to accomplish a certain goal, or fear of loss, or all of those different things that are different approaches that we hear from sales trainers and have heard for 20, 30, 40 years or more. So let's take a look at what happens though in real life. When you're meeting somebody, you're cultivating that relationship, you might find somebody who's going to run for their goal like they're in the Olympics. They're going to run for that goal so that they get the gold medal. Maybe that person wants to lose weight, and they're going to strive for that goal until they accomplish their weight loss goal. Maybe that person wants to look younger. They're going to use your skincare products and your personal care products to reach their goal of looking younger. They're going to do whatever they have to do. Maybe it's a financial goal. That person is going to work as hard as they can until they make that $2,000 a month, that $5,000 a month, whatever it is. But those are the gold medals. But what you need to understand is as fast as somebody may run for that gold medal, sometimes that person is going to run even faster when they're being chased by a pit bull. And so you have to be aware of that. Now, what does that mean in terms of the relationship, in terms of real life situations? Well, maybe that person wants to lose weight, but what really motivates them to move faster is, a fear of having to go to the beach, to the summer pool party in a bathing suit and look like like somebody who just stumbled in from Walmart in their spandex shorts up their butt crack. Maybe that person is striving for financial goals and they'd like to reach $2,000 a month, but their real fear that's going to make them run faster is what's going to happen in a couple years when their kids are ready for college and they have to have that difficult conversation that says, I'm really sorry, kids, we can't afford to send you to college. See, those are the pit bulls. And so in the selling process, just like any other relationship process, you have to learn to listen. And in that learning to listen, you'll find out what's important for them. I'll give you a terrific example. We have been talking the last couple days about a crowdfunding platform that friends of mine started, and it's really been an exciting experience to be on the phone talking to some people who are involved in fundraising. They're involved in nonprofit organizations, charitable organizations, and so the first thing I asked that person is, what's the reason that inspired you to get on this call with me or jump on Skype with me so that we can have this conversation. I need to know whether that person is looking to make funds, generate funds for themselves, whether there's a nonprofit organization they're trying to work for. Maybe it's it's an organization that's in trouble. So I'm finding out whether it's about gold medals or about pit bulls. In my personal business, I do the same thing. I find out what it is that inspired that person to want to jump on the Skype session or the call or the webinar with me, so that we can find out. I can listen not just to what they say, but sometimes to what they don't say. That'll give me all of the insight into what that person's motivation is. So what happens when you're in the sales process, and when you're in that process itself? One of the easiest ways to find out and to make sure that you're reaching that person's real motivation is to coin your phrase, to turn that phrase in a way that presents them both the gold medal and the pit bull. Because sometimes you really don't know. Sometimes you don't. You only have those 2 or 3 minutes to talk to a person. And so what you can do is, let's say for example you're with a weight loss company. You tell that person, hey, there's just so much that I have to share with you. I'm so excited that I'd love to share with you why so many people find that our weight loss program produces the kind of results that they really want in their lives, helps them to take that 20 pounds off or that extra 30 pounds off, and it also at the same time helps them to rest a little bit easier, knowing that they're not going to get cardiovascular disease, knowing they're not going to have to worry about a heart attack or stroke. So see, what I just did in that verbiage was I combined yesterday's herd approach with the pit bulls and gold medals approach. So the herd approach was that I would love to share with you why so many people are excited about. See, you're not pushing that person and say, well, everybody else likes this product, you'll like it too, because that's pushing. You're pulling them. You're saying, I'd love to share with you why everyone else is doing this. Nobody wants to be left out of the herd. So they want to find out, why is everybody else doing this? And then you present them with the gold medal, which is why everyone else is so excited about the fact that they're able to use this product and take that extra 20 pounds or 30 pounds off that they've been trying so hard without having to really struggle with difficult to follow diets or rigid exercise programs. And then you bring the pit bull in. And probably best of all, it really helps them to rest easier at night because they know that they're not going to have to be as worried about heart attack or stroke, about cardiovascular disease or any of the other illnesses that come when our metabolism slows down and we put on that extra weight. So I find that if you just take a little bit of time, excuse me, to look at what it is that you're bringing to the marketplace, and look at your customer base, and look at what your target market is, and then craft on an index card or in a notebook, craft a phrase, little snippets of verbiage that you can put together when you're talking with somebody to tailor that to what they're looking for. But it all begins with finding out what it is they're looking for in the first place. If you have a weight loss program and somebody's actually just looking for core nutrition, well, then you're not going to want to talk to them about weight loss. You're going to want to talk to them about whether your weight loss program contains the elements of core nutrition. When you're trying to sell sell a service or sell goods or sell consulting or maybe sell property, again, you need to find out what it is that person is looking for. And I think today we'll be able to hear from Sandy, who can share, in real life situations, what that looks like when you're in a market outside of direct sales, when you're out there, selling real estate, when you're selling consulting services and things like that. So that's what this whole concept of gold medals and Pitbulls is all about. And while it might seem like like the last couple of days have been just strictly focused on sales techniques, I really want to encourage you guys to stop and if necessary, listen to the sessions again, so that you recognize very clearly that these are mind shifts that have to take place. The herd mentality, the herd theory is all about helping people, helping yourself to understand what motivates people in terms of wanting to be part of the crowd, safety in numbers, and learning how to use that in a way that pulls people in your direction rather than pushes them to make a decision. So they're not going to push back when you're pulling. So there's definitely some mental shifting that takes place, even though you're learning some new sales skills. And today, of course, the same thing applies. It's about learning how to approach that relationship with a different mindset, so that you understand that unless you find out what's motivating that person, you've only got about a 50% chance of succeeding in closing the sale or accomplishing what it is that you've set forth to accomplish. But if you spend that little bit of time to listen to that person, to identify what their needs are, and then to serve those needs, and to find out whether they're more motivated by running after the gold medal or whether they're running away from a pit bull. And then once you understand that, then you can begin to address their concerns and their motivation in a way that provides real service and real value to them. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn everybody's microphones back up. If there's something that you particularly want to jump in and share, go ahead and feel free to jump in and share, including questions. Anybody?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hi. Yes, I was just frantically scribbling down here all the gems that you've been giving us here, and I just wanted to verify basically the three techniques there. The herd technique from yesterday is creating bringing it to so many people and why so many people are interested in your product. So that's the herd technique we have to bring in. The gold medals technique would be the principal benefit of the products that we're offering. And just to verify, the Pitbull, is that the extra benefits that come along with our product, or is that I got slightly confused with the Pitbull?
That's a good question. Okay, so yeah, the herd theory is that people don't want to be left out of the group. And so rather than pushing somebody and saying, here's a list of my satisfied clients, which is something that in consulting, real estate sales, insurance sales, we quite often do, is we'll have references. It's called reference-based selling. And we'll say, these are some of our clients. You're more than welcome to talk to them and find out what they thought. And so yesterday we talked about how that's not very effective, because who's going to hand somebody a list of their clients that aren't happy? Of course I'm going to have a list of my happy clients, but in that client's mind, that's a moot point, because they realize that you're not going to share with them the people that weren't satisfied with you, so there's not real value. You're not delivering value in that transaction. So what we do with the herd theory is we say, would you like to know why, or may I share with you why so many people find this service, or find our company, or find this product to be beneficial to them? So you're offering them an opportunity to do what that client wants to do from the very start, which is get more information. Now, the gold medal is as Ita said, is the primary benefits, the principal benefits of your product or service. It's sharing with them how they can it's not the benefits from the perspective of I'm going to tell you the benefits of my product. It's sharing the benefits that relate to their goals. So if you don't know what a person's goal is, you're kind of shooting at shooting in the dark. But if you understand that that person has a specific goal in terms of what they want to accomplish, you share those benefits and say this can help you accomplish blah blah blah. This can help you to reach whatever that gold medal standard is for them. Whether it's weight loss for a weight loss product, whether it's a financial goal, this is going to help you make that, hit that home run, help you achieve that gold medal. And then the third part, the Pitbulls, I want you to picture this. That, as I said in the very beginning, Anita, you might have just missed this part, is you never know whether somebody's going to be more motivated to run as hard as they can to achieve the gold medal, or whether they're going to run even faster when there's a pit bull chasing them. So when we talk about pit bulls, we're talking about that thing that causes fear in them, that thing that they're trying to avoid, because there are two things in our lives, in the Buddhist philosophy that we teach, causes suffering. One is clinging to things outside of ourselves that we think are going to bring us satisfaction. The other is trying to push things away that we're afraid are going to cause us pain. So suffering is never caused by the pain itself. Suffering is only caused by trying to avoid the pain. And the easiest way to get away from suffering is to move through the pain. So when we talk about pit bulls, we're talking about those things that that person wants to avoid and will run even faster away from than they will from the goal, the end goal. So maybe a person's goal is to achieve $2,000 a month, but what they're really afraid of, the underlying reason for wanting to achieve $2,000 a month as a financial goal, is because they want to make sure when their children are 16, 17, 18 years old, that they have enough money saved to put those kids through college. So does that make sense, Ita?
Yes, thank you. I did miss the beginning there where you were explaining about pit bulls. So yeah, you've explained it there to me. That it's what causes the fear and what will make them, as you said, run faster.
Right.
Yes, and you also brought out that that's got to do with how we find out the information from them. So it's basically getting to know our prospect or getting to know our potential customer before we even try to talk to them about products. So yeah, thanks for explaining all that.
Exactly, and you're quite welcome. That's this entire piece of the curriculum for the last 10 days is from Tom Freese's book and course, Question-Based Selling, and it's all about. If you haven't read the book, it's a brilliant book. It's a fantastic course. I don't know if he's even still doing the live courses because we are all getting a little bit older. But it was a course that I took probably, I guess maybe 15 years ago, 16 years ago, somewhere along that area, and I took it with a group of folks who were part of a consulting firm that I founded, and we were doing financial planning, insurance, and mortgage, life insurance, and I brought all of these sales reps with me to just because I thought it was just going to be a good motivational kind of workshop. And it was life-changing for me because it impacted my direct sales, my network marketing business. It impacted my relationships with other people because it really brought my focus to the idea that we are much more effective, not by what we say, but by the questions that we ask. And so that's what these last 10 days have been about, is learning to ask better questions. And Sandy, if you're at a place where you can turn on your microphone, I know that that this is something that's part of your reason for success in your life as an entrepreneur, as a real estate professional, and as a consultant who's provided services to people that have sort of spanned a broad range of great services. So what are your thoughts, when it comes to learning to ask the right questions? What kind of impact have you found in your experience that makes in terms of your peak performance?
Well, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. First of all, asking the right questions. Not too long ago I blogged about that. You can ask a question in a way that makes them think about the answer. Don't ask a question and give them the answer at the same time. So many people ask the question and then they just can't wait to tell you, oh, well, here's how you solve this. Ask the question first and don't offer the answer. I think that's like a key. I often do that with people. I'll say, well, now, here's the deal as the way I know it. Now, what do you think might be the solution? Now, what have I done to them? I have put them into the problem-solving arena, so now they're part of solving the problem, and now that I have them in that mindset, then guess what? I can tell them how wonderful my experience has been with doing things a certain way. Luckily for me, I am able to do that because I've lived long enough to make enough mistakes in life. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, well, then I don't know what to tell you about the rest of that story. Really like here is the gold medal approach. And you know why I like that gold medal part of this equation? I see. I'll give you a personal example. 2 nights ago, I was on. I clicked on a web page, and I knew it was going to be an invitation to buy something because I've bought from these people before. What they do is they are part of this new video mindset of, oh, I've got to tell you everything in life you ever wanted to know, and oh, by the way, and about 15 minutes later, you've gone in the other room, you've made yourself a cup of coffee, you've done whatever you do, and you go like, are they done yet? Are they done yet? Tell me in the first few sentences what you're about, what benefits you have to offer me, and don't think you have to educate me on whatever it is that you're selling. Really, the education is important, but unless you get my attention, all that other stuff is really kind of irrelevant. I mean, what does it mean to you? Do you care how it's going to work, or do you care that it works and you can move on with your life? So I like that gold medal approach, but don't overdo it. Would be a caution, because now they have some of those videos that just go on and on and on, and they're beautifully done, and it must cost them thousands and thousands of dollars to have those things made. But in the end, you want to sell me a product for $19? Really? How's that working out for you? I don't know how that's working out for you. And then the fear. If you tell me if I don't do this or if I don't do that, oh my gosh, this is going to happen to me, and oh, this happened to a friend of mine because, I tried to tell them what was best for them, and they really didn't buy into it. So you have to let people tell you what they want, and then answer their question. And I'm sorry I've been absent for probably a month here, but I've been working on some personal things that just took a lot of time on my part, but I think I'm back on track.
Well, we've missed you, and we're glad that you're back. And actually, there have been quite a few of us that have had to go away for a week here, a week there. I think actually all of us have kind of done that. Ita's time is actually coming up. She's I think the last one jumping off for a short period. That's what summer's all about. Life is what happens when we've made plans otherwise. And thank you, Sandy, because I think that's really an important couple of points that you brought out. And the first one is that whole concept of what I call throwing up on the prospect. I'm going to give you this whole big long sales pitch, and I'm going to spend. And I've seen those videos, where it looks like you're tuning in to find out about a doctor's research on the gut. And the impact that has on nutrition or on mindset or on Alzheimer's, and 30 minutes later, he's gone into every minute detail of how the gut works, and only to find out that he's going to try and pitch you on some $20 or $30 vitamin supplement, and that wasn't, then there's resentment that's built up for me, because now I've just wasted 30 minutes of my life and he never really got around to providing me with the information I expected. And you're not going to know what your prospect expects out of that encounter unless you ask. You know, and isn't it easier to ask that question in the beginning than to throw up all over them with your whole sales presentation that your company told you, or this one told you, or your leader told you, you know, and to find out what it is that they're looking for, you know, and then at the end, you know, to recognize that sometimes the things that motivate people is accomplishing the goals. Some people are goal oriented. Others are not. Others are it's fear of loss, or fear of what if, or fear of the unknown. And unless you understand that, now I'm not advocating using fear by any means, because that's not who I am as a person. Some people use that fear of loss as a sales technique, and I'm not here to pass a judgment on whether that's right or wrong, because if it works for them, then it's right for them. But you'll never find me saying, well, you know, we've got, in my primary business, we have a $1 membership that expires on Friday. And so you'll never find me getting on the phone telling people, well, you got to get in before Friday, otherwise that $1 membership's gone, and you're going to have to spend $20 for the year's membership. And that's not, for most people, that's neither relevant nor is it a significant issue, because we're talking about $18, and if I've already done my job, I've already shared with them the incredible value that they're going to get from the membership, whether it's, you know, $1 or $19 or $50 or $100, because I know that I can save them at least $50 to $60 in a month. So sometimes we have to watch what it is that we're telling people, because we could be contradicting or undermining the real value that we bring to the table. So I'm not saying to use fear of loss. I'm just saying understand where that person's coming from. As Sandy said, you know, making sure that you ask the right questions and engage them, and that's what I was talking about, push technology versus pull technology. When you're pushing somebody, you're saying, you know, I think you should do this because everybody else did this, and here's all my satisfied clients, and you know, like the person who does the video and tells you about hundreds of people who took this product and lost weight, or grew hair, or got bigger breasts or smaller breasts, or whatever the story might be, that might not be what that person's looking for. So if you don't ask them, how can you properly serve them? And that's what this comes down to, is service, servant leadership. So anybody else want to jump in? Anybody have questions or comments that they want to share about this concept of gold medals versus Pitbulls? Okay, well, guys, we have actually, probably for the first time in the previous 46 shows, we've actually stayed within our 30-minute budget of trying our goal of trying to bring this program to you guys in 30 minutes. I think actually yesterday Jen and I did a good job of staying within that 30 minutes as well. But you know, I want to encourage you guys to take time, go to the blog, barefootmillionairemastermind.com/mindshift. You'll find all of the archives there of previous shows. For some folks, it really works well to spend some catch-up time, maybe watch 3 shows a day. That's going to take you about an hour and a half a day to kind of get caught up on the mind shifts and the technologies that lead you there. For other folks, it might be just jump around and look for topics that speak to you. The idea behind this is really to help to have a positive impact on people's lives, and as a result of that, because of the fact that we've now got this crowdfunding program that's going to help us to support the couple that we started this program as a fundraiser for, I am really happy to be able to say that you guys can start to invite other folks to participate. If there's somebody that you know today, I invited my friend Kat to jump on today, and we're really glad she was able to join us. She's sharing with us a beautiful picture out her window of the yard. Invite 1 or 2 people. to participate with us on a daily basis. And if there's somebody you think could benefit, just invite them to become part of what we're doing, and we'll welcome them to be part of that day's discussion as well. Otherwise, be sure to go to the blog, leave comments, ask questions, share your experiences. Know that I appreciate each and every one of you for the value that you bring to this program and the value that you bring to one another as we make this journey and this shift from where we are today to peak performance in every aspect of our lives, the 6 dimensions of wellness and wholeness. So until next time, I hope that you'll stay in the moment. I hope that you'll be grateful for what you've got, because that's the foundation. If you can't be grateful for what you have, what makes you think you're going to be any happier with more? And always remember, my friends, the best is yet to come. We'll see you tomorrow.